I just want to show a close-up of the jar toppers. Here you can see one of them on top of the jelly, a short jelly jar. This one has a regular wreath, and I show you how to make that as well, a different style. This one has dog buttons on the wreath, and this one has Christmas lights on the wreath. For this crochet project, I'm using my 4mm crochet hook, as well as a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. You can use whatever ribbon that you want for your crochet project. I chose this Celebrate It 360. It has a shimmery white colored ribbon that's 5/8 an inch. The yarn that I chose is I love this cotton. This one is a spark color. You could choose whatever colors that you want. Here's more information about this yarn. And then this one has a glittery white colored yarn. I'm using this orange colored, I love this cotton yarn. And then I have, this is a bright green colored. I'm also, for the Santa's hat, I'm using this red colored. I love this cotton yarn. For my green, I love this cotton yarn. They have this adorable pattern. It looks like it's a crochet pattern, but it looks really cute. Go ahead and get the yarn that you want, the color that you want for your flower, and then you're going to take your yarn and just fold it over on itself to form a loop. Then take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for your slip knot. And just cinch down that knot, and you can pull the loop not too tightly, but cinch it around your crochet hook. Then you're going to make a chain of 5. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for 1, 2, so I just finished a chain of 5. Then take your crochet hook. You're going to go into that first chain that we made. So take your crochet hook, go into that first chain. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. Then you've formed a circle. Now we're going to work into the center of the circle. Now just take your crochet hook, go right into the center of the circle, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through both for a single crochet. Then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then make another single crochet into the center of the circle. And you're going to do that 4 times. And you're going to make 4 chain 3 loops. So I'll make one more loop with you. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the center of the circle, and that's my second one. Now I have 2 loops, two chain 3 loops. Go ahead and finish repeating that all the way around until you have 4 loops, and then come back. Now you can see that I have 4 chain 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and chain 3 again, and we'll finish with 5 loops. 1, 2, 3. Then slip stitch into that first single crochet that you made. So go into that first single crochet, and then we're going to make a slip stitch. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Now you can see how you have 5 chain 3 loops all the way around. Now take your crochet hook, go into that first chain 3 loop. So you're going right into that first chain 3 loop, bring up a loop. We're going to make a single crochet. It's just yarn over, go through both loops for a single crochet. Now you're going to make a half double crochet, yarn over, go into the same chain 3 loop, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then we're going to make a double crochet, so you yarn over, go into the same chain 3 loop, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2 loops only. You have 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2 for a double crochet. Then we're going to make one more half double crochet, yarn over, go into the same chain 3 loop, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the same chain 3 loop. And that completes your first petal. Now I'm going to make one more petal with you, but you're going to be making the exact same petal into every loop, all 5 loops all the way around. So I'm going to make one more petal with you. I'm going into the next chain 3 loop, bring up a loop for a single crochet. Now I'm going to make a half double crochet in the same chain 3 loop. Now I'm going to make a double crochet. Then a half double crochet. And a single crochet. And that completes my second petal. Go ahead and finish your petals all the way around, back to the beginning, and then come back. Now you can see how I completed 5 petals all the way around. I'm back to the beginning. Then I can make a slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to go behind your first petal. So go behind your first petal and go into that last single crochet. The last single crochet you made on that petal. So I'm going behind into that last single crochet in that first petal. Then I'm going to make a single crochet, so I'm going to bring up a loop, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So you could see how I made a chain 4 loop right behind that first petal. So I'm going to make one more with you. I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go behind that second petal, go into that last single crochet that we made, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet, and then you're going to repeat that all the way around back to the beginning and then come back. Now I'm back to where I started. If you turn your flower over, you can see how I have chain 4 loops all the way around. We're going to be working into these chain 4 loops now for the back petals. So now I'm going to take my crochet hook, go into that first chain 4 loop that I made right behind that first petal. I'm going to bring up a loop for a single crochet. Then I'm going to make a half double crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So in the next one, next chain 4 loop, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, and repeat all the way around. And you can see how you're making your next round of petals behind the first round of petals. This is what my work looks like so far. I have my first round of petals, and now I just completed my second round of petals. Then I'm going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. Then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to take that first petal of the last round that we made, go ahead and go behind it. Make sure you only have the petal, not the first round of petal, just the second round petal. You're going to go right in the center behind that first petal, right in the center of the petal, just like this. You're going to bring up a loop and make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to go right between the petals and make a single crochet. So you're basically doing the same thing, except now you have 2 chain 4 loops behind each petal. So the previous round petal, here's the second round, here's the first round petal, here's the second round petal. Now you have 2 chain 4 loops behind that second round petal. So I'm going to make one more with you. I'm going to chain 4, I'm going to go behind the second round petal. I'm going to fold it down, and I'm going to go right in the center. Bring up a loop, make a single crochet. So I finished my first chain 4 loop behind that second round petal. Now I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to go right between the 2 petals and make a single crochet. So I'm going right between the 2 petals of the previous rows or rounds petals, bring up a loop and make a single crochet. So now I have 2 chain 4 loops behind the second petal. So you could see how I'm making the chain 4 loops behind the previous round's petals. Go ahead and complete that all the way around back to the beginning and then come back. So I'm back to the beginning, and I just finished a total of 10 chain 4 loops all the way around. This is the back of my flower. Here's the front of my flower. Now you're going to join your green colored yarn. So we're going to start by making the green part of the flower. So now I'm just going to take my green yarn. I'm just going to pull up a loop. You can cut your previous yarn color. Then go ahead and tie a knot. Then you can make a single crochet into the next chain, into the first chain 4 loop. So take your crochet hook, go into that first chain 4 loop. You're going to make a single crochet, then a half double crochet, all of this into the same chain 4 loop. Three double crochet, another half double crochet, then a single crochet to finish up the petal. And you're going to repeat that into each of the chain 4 loops all the way around back to the beginning and then come back. So I'm going to make one more with you. A single crochet, half double crochet, three double crochet, half double crochet, and a single crochet. Then repeat. You can see the gorgeous petals that look like leaves around the flower. Now, once you've reached the beginning, you're going to make a slip stitch into that first single crochet that you made. Just yarn over and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Now you're ready to join your white yarn. You're going to attach it the same way that you did for the green yarn. Just hook it and bring up a loop. You can chain one. Then just turn your work over. Cut the previous colored yarn, which was my green. Leave a long end, not just a long enough end for burying your loose yarn end. Then just take and tie a knot. Now you're ready to crochet with your white yarn. So you're just going to do the exact same thing that you did for the chain 4 loops that you worked your green petals onto. So you just chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to fold down your green petal and work right into the center of the green petal. Bring up a loop, make a single crochet. You see how you made your first chain 4 loop, then chain 4, and make a single crochet between the petals. Bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way around back to the beginning where you have two chain 4 loops behind each petal. I just finished my last chain 4 loop. This is the back of the flower. You can see how I have 20 chain 4 loops all the way around the back of the flower. So here's the front of the flower. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as my first double crochet for our next round. So now I'm going to make 4 double crochet into each of the chain 4 loops. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then in the center you're going to make 1 double crochet right in the center, and then 4 double crochet into the next chain 4 loop, and then 1 double crochet in the center, and you're going to repeat that all the way around back to the beginning and then come back. This is how mine looks so far. Now I'm back to the beginning, so make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made. So you go right into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made. We're going to make a slip stitch. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to count as your first treble crochet for the next round. This is going to be our last round. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Two double crochet into the next stitch. So 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then you're going to make a treble crochet into that center double crochet. So yarn over twice, go into that next stitch, which should be your center, double crochet into the center stitch. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. And then you're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So I'm going to make one more set with you. 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Two double crochet into the next stitch. So 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Then 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then your next stitch should be the center double crochet. You're going to make your treble crochet into the next stitch. So you just yarn over twice, go into that next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through the last 2. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning and then come back. Then when you reach the beginning, you're going to make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 4 that we made. So you go into that top stitch of the first chain 4 and make a slip stitch. So just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook and then finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then you have your finished rows for jar topper. To bury the loose yarn ends, just take your tapestry needle, put it onto any of your loose yarn ends, and then you just weave it into the back side of your crochet work. I like to go a couple of directions. And then once you've buried it, then you can take and cut the loose yarn end. This is what it looks like when you're all finished. Whoop. And on the back side, now it's ready to put onto the jar. Take the amount of ribbon that you want to tie around the jar. Then take your ribbon, put it right through the treble crochet around that last row. Just take and weave it underneath the treble crochet that you made all the way around. This is what mine looks like with the ribbon in place. And someone could actually hang this up too if they wanted to as a decoration. There's many uses that you can have for this beautiful pattern. Once you place it onto your jar, you can cinch it down and then just tie a bow. Then you can see how I have the bow in place, and then my label, I made some jalapeno jelly so you could see the label underneath the jar topper. Then you can trim your bow if you want to. Here's another one that I made with the different colored center. For this one, I put less double crochet on the outer rim so it lays just a little bit flatter, but I actually like the little folds too, so it's a preference for you. If you wanted to put less, you could do that as well. For this one, I used a sturdier 100% cotton, so it's kind of a thicker type of yarn than I love this cotton, but it still works the same if that's the only cotton that you have. This is what this jar topper looks like compared to the other one. Now, if you want an alternate petal for the second round, you can make a half double crochet, 3 double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. And then repeat that pattern all the way around. And then you can see how it makes just a little larger petal behind the smaller petal. The rest of the work is the exact same way. Now for my red rows, if you like your pattern to lay a little bit flatter, then I used my starting chain 3 double crochet into the chain 4 loop, and then 1 double crochet in the center, and then I repeated that pattern all the way around. So 3 double crochet, in the chain 4 loop, and then 1 double crochet into the center, and just repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. Then that will give you a flatter look. It's absolutely gorgeous. I finished up with 80 stitches on that round, so 80 stitches on that round. Then on my last round I only made 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So I started with the chain 4, 1 double crochet in every stitch, and then a treble crochet into that center stitch. So I'll make one set with you so you can see. Then you repeat that pattern. So I'm making 1 double crochet in every stitch. Every time I reach a center stitch, I'll make a treble crochet. Then 1 double crochet in every stitch in between those center stitches. And that's if you like the flatter look. So now I've reached another center stitch, so I'm going to make a treble. And then you just keep repeating that all the way around to maintain your flatter look. Then for that last round should also be a stitch count of 80, and you can see how it lays perfectly flat. So if you like the flatter look, then this is the pattern that you would use. And you could see how you could hang it up too if you wanted to, and you could put the ribbon or however you want to make it. But if you want to make a loop at the top for hanging, then you would just make a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then just make a slip stitch into the same stitch. So go into the same stitch, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then you have a nice loop for hanging. And this is how it looks on one of my smaller jars. The items that I use to decorate my wreaths, I use this Mayberry Street miniatures. And what I like about this one is it has this wire-like gold malleable little wire that comes with it and is removable. And I use this for the top so you can, I'll show you on my, I'll just show you right now. So here you can see I put it onto the loop so you can hang it up. So it works great. And I used 3 of them as the decoration for this wreath, which means that I have 2 extra gold wires for each of the, because I only use 1 for this one. So that's why I like this pack, because each one comes with a little gold wire. And you get a lot of them per pack. For the price, it's really good. Now for the buttons that I used to decorate, I used Dress It Up buttons, things with wings, because the person that I'm making this for loves butterflies. So I'm going to be using this one. And then also I'm using Sewology buttons. They have these adorable characters that they have. I'm going to show you some other ones, but for the ones that I'm showing you on video tutorial, I'm using these little dog buttons. I wanted to show you some other animals that they had. They had these adorable little cats. I told the lady as I was getting these that it was kind of dangerous because these buttons were so cute. that I just couldn't pass up a lot of these, but these are the owls. Here are some squirrels, raccoons, rabbits. This one is from Dress It Up, Stuffed with Love, little teddy bears, and these are all buttons. So here you can see the buttonholes on the back. I like the large buttonholes back there. Here you have the lion and the monkey, zebra, giraffe, and some other ones. So they just have a lot of fun buttons to choose from. You could use a regular sewing needle and thread if you wanted to, but for mine, I like to sew mine on with yarn. So that means that you're going to need a tapestry needle that's slender enough, that has an eye large enough for the yarn, as well as slender enough to fit right through the hole of the buttons. For my buttons, I just made sure before I started that they will fit through both. You're also going to need a DMC yarn threader, and I'll show you how to thread the yarn through the eye of the tapestry needle. For the wreath jar topper, you're going to start with your white yarn, and we're going to make a magic circle. So you just take your white yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers twice. Then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops around your middle fingers. You're going to bring up a loop. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for your slip knot. Now you're going to go back under those 2 loops around your middle fingers. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through both of those loops for a single crochet. Now you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. So that's going to count as your first double crochet. We're going to make a total of 12 double crochet into the magic circle. So I'm going to show you a couple more and then I'll let you finish. So you're going to have a total count of 12, including this one, so this counts as 1. You want a total of 12 double crochet in the magic circle. So you just yarn over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 of the loops, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through the remaining 2 for a double crochet. So now we have a total of 2. I'll make one more with you. Three. So go ahead, finish 12 double crochet into the magic circle and then come back. Now after you finish 12 double crochet into the magic circle, you just take and hold your crochet hook and then take your forefinger and your thumb and hold the base of the 12 double crochet. So you can see how I'm holding it. Then you have these 2 loops on the opposite side. You're going to pull on one of them. If it doesn't close, let go and then pull on the other one, but this one's closing. Just gently close it. You don't have to close it tightly. You can just close it loosely as much as you can, because we can always close it more later. Then just take your loose yarn end and pull on that. Then you can see how it closes up the magic circle. Then just turn your work. Then you're going to go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that we made. So here is the first chain 3. So here's the first, the second, and the third. So you're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to go into that top stitch of the first chain 3, just like this. Then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Now you've joined it into a circle. You can turn it over now if you want and just pull on that loose yarn end to completely close the center of your magic circle. Now we're going to change yarn colors. So you're going to change to your green yarn color. So you're going to take your green yarn and you're going to hook it and bring it through. Then you can just set your work down, take and cut your previous colored yarn. Make sure you leave enough loose yarn end for burying into your work. Then just take and tie a knot. Now you're going to take and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as your first double crochet for the next round. Go ahead and get both of your loose yarn ends. We're going to bury them as we work. So now you're going to make 2 double crochet into every stitch around. So you just yarn over, go into the next stitch, go behind your loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2 to complete a double crochet. You're going to make 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. Behind the loose yarn ends, make your double crochet. So I'm going to make 1 more set with you. You're going to make 2 double crochet into every stitch around. So go ahead, finish making 2 double crochet into every stitch around, and then come back. Now I have a total of 23, and remember we started with a chain of 3, so we only had 1 double crochet in the initial stitch. So if you make 1 more double crochet into that first stitch, you'll have a total of 24 stitches, or 24 double crochet. Then you're going to make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that we made. So here is the first chain 3. Take your crochet hook, go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that we made. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. So I was actually in the top stitch of this double crochet. I want to be in the top stitch of that first chain 3, which would be this stitch. So go ahead, go into the top stitch of the first chain 3 that we made, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Now we're ready for the next round. You completed the second round. So go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So that counts as your first double crochet for the next round. Now for this round, we're going to do another increase round, and what that means is we're going to increase the number of stitches around the circle. So the first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, so into the next stitch you're going to make 2 double crochet. So yarn over, go into that next stitch and make 2 double crochet. Then in the next stitch you're going to make 1 double crochet. Next stitch, 2 double crochet, and you're going to keep repeating that pattern 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, all the way around, back to the beginning. So I'm going to make one more set with you. 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And then 2 double crochet into the next stitch. And just keep repeating that pattern all the way around, back to the beginning. And then come back. This is how my work looks so far. You should have completed 36 stitches for that round. Now you're going to make a slip stitch into the top stitch of the first chain 3 that we made. So here is your chain 3. Take your crochet hook, go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that we made. Then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Now you're ready to join your new colored yarn, which I'm using white. So just take your next colored yarn. You're going to loop and bring the yarn through the loop. Then just turn your work over. And if you haven't already cut your previous colored yarn, go ahead and cut it. Then just tie your knot. Then you're ready for your next round. And remember to take your loose yarn ends because you're going to work behind the loose yarn ends. So for this round, you're going to start with a chain of 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the next round. You're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And then 2 double crochet into the third stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the beginning. I'm going to work one more set with you. So 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then 2 double crochet into the third stitch. Then repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the beginning. And then come back. You should have finished 48 stitches for that round. Now you're ready to make your slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that we made. This is going to be our last round. For this last round, you're going to start with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to count as your first treble crochet. So for this round, you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 double crochet into the third stitch. Then you can make a treble crochet into the fourth stitch. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2, 3 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2. And then you just completed your treble crochet. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, back to the beginning. I'm going to make one more set with you. So you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Two double crochet into the 3rd stitch, and then 1 treble crochet into the 4th stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, back to the beginning, and then come back. Then, when you're back to the beginning, you can just make a slip stitch into that top stitch of the first chain 4 that we made. Now, if you want to make it so you can hang this also, then you just make a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have a chain of 8, then make a slip stitch into the same stitch. So go back into the same stitch, yarn over, and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you can go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Now you can tie a knot. Actually, you've already finished off and knotted it, so you can just bury the loose yarn end now. So I'm going to show you how to bury the loose yarn ends. To bury any of your remaining loose yarn ends, just take your tapestry needle, put it onto your loose yarn end, and then just take and weave it through the back of your work. I like to go a couple of directions to make sure that it's nice and buried. And then once it's buried, then you can take and cut it. So go ahead, bury any of your loose yarn ends, and then come back. The first thing that I did was just take some of my red cotton yarn to make the bow. So find the top of your wreath, and then you're just going to take and wrap around the red yarn around one of the double crochet at the top of the wreath. Make sure that the ends are equal, and then you can tie your bow. I tied mine into a knot so it doesn't come undone, or they can redo or remake the bow if they want to. You can place a ribbon instead of the yarn if you wanted to, but I like the yarn because you could still set something warm on here if you wanted to, and so you could be done now. If you're going to put the buttons, of course, then it would be more for hanging, but you could still hang this as well. But the reason why I did the yarn is because you can still set warm things on here if you want to use it as a coaster instead. Now you can take your ornament hook and place it on here if you wanted to. I have some of these little golden wire things that I got from my light bulbs. So I'm using some of those because I have a lot extra. And then I just take it, wrap it in the hook, and then you can just take and wrap the wire around into a circle, and then you can just leave it hanging. Then they have something they can hang this up on the tree, or they want to hang it on the wall, whatever they want to do with it. The first thing you want to do is just take a small amount of the red yarn, or whatever color yarn you're using to sew your buttons on. I'm going to show you with one of the dogs first. The first thing you're going to do is just take your tapestry needle, take the hook of your DMC yarn threader and put it right through the eye of your tapestry needle. Then you're going to take and hook the yarn, bring the hook back through the eye of the needle. The easiest way I found to do this is you're going to move your DMC yarn threader up and down, and then just bring the yarn through. Then you're going to take your button and just bring the yarn through the button. Then you could take your tapestry needle off. Then you're going to take and place the button where you want it on the wreath. I'm going to place mine about right at the top on the left. So you just bring the yarn through the back on both sides. So I'm just taking and bringing the yarn through in between and just bringing it through to the back side of the wreath. Then make sure your dog is positioned the way you want it. Then you can tie it in place. And since I would like to have the buttons removable, I'm going to only tie a bow so it can be removed easily in case they want to use their buttons for something else. So you just put a neat little bow on the back. If you want it to be permanent, then you could tie it into a knot. And then you just tie your buttons all the way around your wreath. And it's that easy. This is what mine looks like after I put all of them on. These are what the butterflies look like after I sewed them in place. I used different colored yarn for the butterflies. Now I'm going to show you how to place the ribbon around the outer edge. You want to start at the top so that the only stitch free is going to be right in the center. So in the next stitch over, you just bring the ribbon through. Then you're going to look for the treble crochets. So the next treble crochet is the stitch that you're going to bring the ribbon through. And then you're just going to go into each of the treble crochets and feed the ribbon all the way around back to the beginning. Then you can take, once you've fed the ribbon all the way around, you can see how I have only one stitch between my ribbon ends. Then I'm just going to tie. I'm not going to tie a knot, I'm just going to tie it one time. Unless you want yours to be permanent, then you can tie a knot, but I like to put mine on the jars, so I'm just going to tie it once. And then you can just tie a bow. And then once you have the bow how you like it, then you can trim the ends, because this bow will be plenty long enough for use on the jar or as hanging as an ornament for someone. And then you just have to straighten your bow out, and then you're all done.